show you a tool in Amplify Classroom that you can use to have your students practice math problems for Newton's second law or speed equals distance over time. So I have linked this activity on the iApp and in the teacher sandbox. When you open it, it will look like this, and you can create your own free account. And then you have some options to assign to your students using a single session code, which is going to be the fastest. And they simply go to the website and put in the code. Or you can take some time to set up some classes and have the students join the class using the code and then assign to each class so that you can track their progress by class period. But if you're just wanting to get started, put up the single session code and have them join the session. It'll look like this for you. And this dashboard will allow you to see your student answers. If you go to the teacher, you can see all the students answering from their computers. You can get a summary when they join the class with a nice table that shows you if they have started or finished each question. But what I really like about this is the ability here to give the students a checklist. So I've put the questions from the release STAR test here, and next to it they get a checklist of how to solve the problem. So I'm going to demonstrate how I would use this with my students. Also, on a side note, the important thing here is that they're actually getting to use a similar calculator that they will get to use on their STAR test. So the first step here says open the scientific calculator. So they're going to click to open the scientific calculator. An important note too is that if you want them to have the same capabilities that you're having them practice in class here, you want to teach them that on their STAR test they should open the scientific calculator and select that as their option instead of the 4-function calculator. So students now can check, I open the scientific calculator. Now they're going to pick a formula using their formula chart that you've provided for STAR. So for this one, it's asking for net force. So we're going to pick the formula for force. And it says we're going to type the formula on the first line of the calculator and then press enter. So force equals mass times acceleration. Press enter. Check. List each variable. So since we're solving for force, then we only need the mass and the acceleration. I listed each variable that came after the equal sign in my formula. Now I'm going to enter the values for each variable. So mass, I have to read my problem. The mass was 3.5. The acceleration was 4.0. I entered the values for each variable. Now I'm going to view and enter the answer from the top line on the calculator. So the top line on the calculator now says my answer is 14. What I like about this is the focus is on identifying the formula and identifying each variable, which number in the problem is mass, which number in the problem is acceleration. Obviously, we do want them to be able to do the math, but it's very important as first steps to just be able to identify the variables in the formula, and then the Desmos calculator solves it for them. So my answer is 14. On the next slide, I'll have some additional instructions because I missed a step on this first one. But down here with the little keyboard, they're going to put their answer, 14. We're going to encourage them to use units. So 14 newtons is our measure of force. Then right here in this box, they have the ability to screenshot their calculator from the right-hand side of their screen and then upload that screenshot of their calculator here so you can see exactly what they put in, see what mistakes they might have made. The other thing I like here on this teacher dashboard is I can actually lock them into a slide so they're not working ahead, and I can paste them as a class. So I would click on paste here and slide 1, and I can restrict them to slide 1. Then when I'm ready to move on, I can either add the second slide to open it, or I can press this arrow and it changes everybody's screen to slide 2 so that I don't have students that are still staring at slide 1 and everybody else is on slide 2. So you'll notice on this question they have the same steps, but I did go ahead and add the screenshot which you entered into your calculator and upload. You can edit this assignment as well so that you can add your own problems. For example, I only have a few basic problems, word problems on here. The rest are they're having to look at the data table and solve the problem. So you may want to add for the beginning while you're modeling and having students practice, you may want to add some of the more simple word problems here. Okay, so if I go back to where I started assigning the activity and you want to edit your activity, then I can click on the 3 dots here and duplicate the screen. So it's going to duplicate what I had so that you don't have to reset up all of these steps, and then you can simply just replace the media and select a different question that you want to put here. Last thing, I wanted to show you what this looks like when you have students that are actually in the class. You'll have their names listed. It'll give you a dot if they've answered the question. It doesn't grade it for you, so I just take a completion grade. Did they finish all the slides and participate?